been nearly 3 decades since the release of the 1980s high-flying, rootin'-tootin', bogey-shootin' Tom Cruise starring Top Gun, a patriotic military thriller that coasted by on star power, charisma, and dazzling fighter jet footage. Now, finally, we have the arrival of Top Gun Maverick, the legacy sequel that soars out of the pandemic-delayed danger zone and straight into cinemas to take our breaths away all over again. Maverick, from its very first frames featuring the exact same font and exact same Hans Zimmer guitar licks laying loving homage to the cheesy but fondly remembered original, is a full-throttle aerial thrill ride from start to finish.
The end is inevitable, Maverick. Your kind is headed for extinction.
Maybe so, sir. But not today.
Let's get this out of the way first. This movie is way better than it had any right to be, let alone even needed to be. Hollywood could have crapped out an unrelated sequel years ago, or even worse, a terrible prequel, but instead they put real money and real talent behind this, and the result is one of the best action movies we've seen in the 2020s, easily. Joseph Kosinski is a phenomenal director. He always has been. But in this movie, he's given a script worthy of his directorial skills, and a star that makes the whole show shine with Cruise's incredible watchability. The guy is literally one of the last true movie stars, and that's all on display in this fantastic flick. Maverick acts as a loving homage to the original and a fantastic sequel that updates and spit shines the action film formula that feels like a perfect popcorn film that could have been made in the 1980s or 1990s with the technical whiz-bang wizardry of modern filmmaking. The original film never got bogged down in realism, and the sequel doesn't even try either, but the film feels authentic and downright thrilling due to Cruise's commitment to doing as much as he could in camera practically. It has that charming tone that has a wink in its eye, one hand over its heart, and the other firmly on the throttle. The entire cast looks to be having an absolute ball in the movie as well. Cruise is without a doubt the last of the movie stars. The guy is pushing 60 and is still one of the hardest working action movie stars in the world. Hell, in a world where cinema favours franchises and IPs, Cruise makes films that are genuine spectacles of stunts and thrills that feel dangerous and utterly thrilling. His Mission Impossible series gets better and better and better with every installment, and Maverick is on the level of those films. He's clearly starting to age and is present in the film, but for the first time, it seems like he's leaning into that fact and even having fun with it. At one point, he shows genuine vulnerability and emotion, and it feels like a layer of Hollywood facade slipping away. He needs to make movies forever. I've loved the last decade of Tom Cruise films, and he is incredible here. Cruise brings on a new cast to surround himself with in this movie as well. Miles Teller is probably the biggest name of the younger cast, and looks like an absolute dead ringer for the son of Meg Ryan and Anthony Edwards in the original. He plays the son of Goose, Maverick's wingman who was killed in the previous film. Spoilers for a movie released in 1986. This movie does assume you've seen it. Teller is given the meatiest role in the film outside of Cruise, but another actor in the midst of the young cast named Glenn Powell really stole the film for me. He plays the character Hangman, and he is embodying the douchebag spirit of Iceman from the original. He has such screen presence, I'm assuming we'll be seeing much more of him in the coming years. He is a genuine movie star in the making. One person who picked the short end of the B-plot was Jennifer Connelly. She's really good, she always is, but honestly, she's shoehorned in here, and if you didn't know she was playing a different character from Kelly McGinnis's Charlie in the original, you'd be forgiven. She isn't given much to do other than humanize Maverick and make you anxious to return to the sky, because that's where this film really shines. The film is simple enough. Maverick is called back to Top Gun to train the best of the best for an impossible mission. It's refreshingly simple, with a tight plot that only occasionally strays to explore the strained relationship between Maverick and Teller's rooster. The movie wants to give its audience a good time, and that's exactly what you're gonna get. The plot follows Top Gun pilots shooting through a gully under missile fire in eyeball-bleeding speed to deliver an explosive payload against Hail Mary odds. It's the Death Star trench run from A New Hope. It's not high art, but holy shit, the execution is spectacular. It's the action you're here for, and by God, it's action Cruise is gonna give you. Credit where credit's due. Tony Scott's original Top Gun has some excellent action beats for its time, and it's a genuinely fun film I like to skim through to get to the good parts. But Maverick feels like a film that grew up consuming movies like that, and it's bigger, it's louder, and it feels like a genuine revolution in its display of pedal-to-the-metal dogfight cinematography. It is genuinely exciting in the same way that Mad Max Fury Road's car chases were. There are dogfights in this movie that are absolutely nail-biting and will tear the air out of your lungs. I haven't been this vocal about action scenes in years, and actually genuinely couldn't believe how they conveyed that level of speed and danger and excitement through movie making. It's just mind-melting. The third act of this film is the most fun I've had in a cinema in years. It's a good old-fashioned white-knuckle adrenaline thrill ride that absolutely screams. It's not a perfect movie, but it's awesome. It plays like gangbusters, and you need to see it on the biggest screen you can. If the floor doesn't rattle under your feet, you're doing this movie wrong. It is abundantly clear why they delayed this movie out of the pandemic. There was no way in hell this could have debuted on streaming. And holding out till everyone could see this together was absolutely the right move. It's so terrifically crowd-pleasing, you're going to have an absolute blast watching it. I'm telling you now, nostalgia and blockbuster movie making do not come any better than Top Gun Maverick. It's so goddamn good, I cannot wait to watch it again. So, here we are, as always, at the end. If you like what you've seen, you want to see more, like and subscribe. I'll have more content coming soon. Later days.